Hi love, it's me again. I hope the sun is shining where you are. I hope you have the time to see the flowers bloom and the bees kissing them. I hope you take the time to watch these beautiful things, to watch life and live life, instead of thinking how things could be or should be. Instead of getting attached to all the maybes, the future and the past, without seeing that the true beauty of life happens now, in the present moment. I've been spending a lot of time in my garden lately, and it's absolutely beautiful to see things grow. There are so many things that happen for us humans in the same way when we grow. When I arrived where I live right now, the garden was an absolute wasteland. My father and I planted almost everything that I can see in this garden today. This man has golden hands. He retired as a physician, but he spent his whole life taking care of his garden. This man truly belongs in nature. He makes everything live and grow. And it took me almost 40 years to remember the wisdom that comes from that. From walking bare feet in the grass and talking to the flowers. Of seeing the magic of nature like kids do. So, buying this house has been an initiation for me. There were so many things to fix, to change, to rebuild, and most of it wasn't planned. So yeah, I learned a lot about patience here. I was so impatient. And I still am, but I'm getting better. I wanted the trees to be already big and the flowers to be already there, so that the garden will look beautiful right away and the house would be finally finished. And it felt like I could enjoy being here only when things would be finished. And now when I think of it, I'm like, when you go see a movie, do you enjoy the movie when it's finished? When you can see the results, the end? Or do you enjoy the movie because you want to see how you get to the end of the story? Otherwise, there is no point in going to see a movie. And so my dad kept on saying, be patient, sweetheart. These things take time. This is going to need 4 or 5 years for these trees to grow. And I was like, I don't even know where I'm going to be in 5 years. We are going to plant all of this, and I'm going to be the one who takes care of it, water it, make sure it grows well, wait and wait and wait. And then for some reason, if I move, I will not see the results of all of that work. And so he smiled and he said, well, that's how it is. These things take time. And I was super annoyed. But now I get it. We don't plant things to see the flowers or the fruits. We plant them so the trees and the flowers can blossom. So that they can live. So that they can add beauty in this world. Because they are life. And I had the same feeling when we closed the shop. I opened a shop and a yoga studio with one of my best friends. And we spent so much time renovating this place, making it beautiful, giving it love. And we closed 6 months after opening. So, as you can imagine, there was a part of me thinking, all of this work, all of this energy for something that is not even mine, and now we're closing it? This is such a waste of time and energy and money. But this experience was actually one of the most incredible experiences in my life. I learned so much. it deepened my relationship with my friend, and we created something beautiful. We added beauty into this world. We added life. And in the end, nothing really ever belongs to us. We are just here for a minute. This house I bought, it's not mine. This body, it is just borrowed for this lifetime. And my dad was right. It hasn't been 5 years, but I can already see how beautiful the trees are now, and how beautiful it is to see everything grow. I am so grateful that all these baby plants were small when I got them, and that I get to see them grow. Because that's the point, right? Yes, the flowers are beautiful, and it's beautiful to see everything full of flowers everywhere now. But I believe there is one thing more beautiful than to see a flower completely open, and that thing is to see the flower bloom. There is so much magic in this very moment where the flower blooms. This is the point. That's why you go to see a movie, to see the process, not the ending. That's why people have kids, not to have them all grown-ups and adults and all, but to see them grow, be there all the way, feed them, nurture them, care for them, love them, watch them fall and get back up, and be so proud that they can get back up by themselves, and watch them bloom countless times. So maybe you don't have a garden, but maybe you have kids. Maybe you have a nice project at work that is really important for you. Will you take some time to watch this grow? To really watch your kid grow? Be amazed by all the small things, by this human learning and growing next to you, thanks to you. Will you see the work that you put in for that project as the ultimate form of devotion? Will you see it as your contribution to the bigger picture? Maybe you have this big dream to create something, but it feels so big that it's overwhelming. And you feel like it's not even worth starting because it's going to take too long and you are very comfortable where you are. But is this the life that you want to live? Safe and comfortable? Or do you want to go all in and trust that you are like a tree that needs a bit of time to show the flowers? And that if you follow your heart, if you enjoy the ride, it doesn't really matter how long it takes. Because this whole journey is sacred work. It is infused with God's blessings. Now, there is something that is required to build anything sacred, and that thing is presence. It requires for you to be fully here, in the moment, fully absorbed by what you are doing, in flow. And in the world we live in today, with all the constant stimulation, being really present can be one of the most challenging things to do. I'm going to tell you a little story about that. I have this rose tree in my garden. This tree is the daughter of a rose tree in my parents' garden. That is the daughter of a rose tree we had when we came back to France when I was very small. I basically spent all my life surrounded by these flowers. And yet, there is something that I noticed only this year, which is 1 year after this tree was planted in my house. And that thing is that the roses of this tree change colors. They change colors every day, depending on the moment where they are in their rose life. When they are closed, about to bloom, they are yellow with a little bit of dark red on the top. when they actually bloom, they are a very warm yellow that fades into orange. This is beautiful. This is my favorite one. After that, they become pink, a super intense pink. And then when they are ready to lose their petals, they become fuchsia and white. And I spent my whole life living in houses with these roses, and I had never noticed that because I didn't pay attention, because I was too busy thinking about life instead of living it. These flowers change colors every day, like us. The person you are today is different from the one you were yesterday. And that's a good thing. You are meant to change. You are life experiencing itself. The flower cannot be always blooming. She needs to go through all the steps so that when the moment comes, she just blooms. Do you remember the last time you saw a flower bloom? She doesn't have to do anything to bloom. She just does when she's ready. After planting the seed, after the tree grows, after the leaves are there, after the winter, after the time in the dark where you don't know if this tree is going to have flowers next year. And when you plant the seed, you don't even know if there is going to be a tree. But after all this time, when the spring or the beginning of the summer comes, and it's the right temperature, and it's the right time, and there has been enough rain, all of this on the right time, she blooms. This is divine timing. This is how life works, and that's why change is necessary. And I believe you are exactly like this flower. I believe that you bloom too. I believe that these are the most magical moments that we get to experience during our time on this planet. This is why we are doing all of this, for the moments we bloom. For the very moment that you find that solution to your problem, the moment you see that friend you hadn't seen in a long time, the moment you fall in love, the moments your tears open your heart more than you ever thought possible, the moment you realize you are infinite, immortal, endless. You are to bloom 1,000,000 times in this lifetime. And something magical happens when you do. Not 1 hour before, not 1 hour after, exactly when it happens. The very moment when you see that friend. The very moment when you fall in love. The very moment when you find that solution. And then the feeling slowly fades away. Because it's all about remembering who you truly are. Once you remember, the feeling is different. But in the moment, wow, that's something. If you take falling in love, for example, love is always there. So it's never about love. But there is something magical in this moment when you fall in love with someone. You get to remember how feeling this love feels like. And it has nothing to do with the other person, because the person who's feeling that is you. That feeling of love comes from within you. It is not about them. They are just a reflection. They are just the mirror that gives you the opportunity, the chance, the gift to see the amount of love that is within you. And what a beautiful gift, by the way. Can you imagine something more precious than that? Than being the mirror so that the other person can remember how much love they can feel. I don't know if there is something more precious than that. And the thing is, if you're not there to watch the flower bloom, because you were too busy doing something else more important than watching life happen, You don't see it. There are so many moments in our lives where we forget to witness life. For a long time, I was too absorbed by the little spinning in my head that I did not see life happen. I was annoyed that life would have different plans for me than what I thought was better, because I wanted to control everything based on what I can see as a human, with my very biased, partial perception. Instead of trusting God, trusting life. They can see the big picture. I can't. My NLP teacher, she used to say, life is what happens when you had planned something else. That's life. The divine, the magic, the unknown. And it's not a punishment or a curse. It's a blessing. The most grounding practice I have found to this day is to witness life. To take time to watch the trees grow, the flowers bloom, to say hi to my jasmine every morning. This very simple practice brought me back to me. It truly connects you to the earth, nature, the Divine Mother. And the magic of life is everywhere around you. So talk to the flowers, walk bare feet, take the time to be amazed by the butterflies, to watch the colors, to watch the sunsets, to watch how beautiful nature is. To realize that all the crazy colors that we create artificially in movies or in lollipops are already in nature somewhere, in the sunsets, the flowers, the rainbows. There is nothing new. It has always been there, waiting for you to witness. And the magic of it is that once you've seen it, once you've felt it, you can always get back there, anytime. Even in the middle of the storm, even in the chaos of the city, even if you are in your apartment with no nature at all. You just need to close your eyes and remember what it felt like. I'm gonna let that one sink in until next week. It makes my heart so full to know that this message found you. I can't wait to hear your story. In the meantime, don't forget to watch the bees kissing the flowers. And I need to ask, where are you blooming right now? I'll talk to you soon.